Well, we're back. It's 2025 now. I need to get used to saying that, and I have my microphone attached, which means I have to keep spinning it around, but I remembered it this time. I got some exciting things in this episode. We're going to have a quick chat with Kelly. He's in the process of already ripping the Type R apart. So, TPD, our development car, it is being ripped apart.
Sure is.
What are we doing?
We're going to pull it out, pull the engine, gearbox, subframe out as one, split apart, have a look at JP's clutch that is starting to slip, try and see if we can pick up any other things along the way, maybe have a look at the intake ports, get it on a stand, just kind of strip it down and have a good look at the wear and tear of it. JP drives his car pretty hard, so I'm sure we'll find a few things that might need replacing along the way. But this thing's been pretty good. We're not expecting to find anything major, just kind of maintenance and get an idea of what's going on.
There was no glitter or anything in the oil, so...
No, it's a good start, eh? It's a real good start.
The underneath of my car is just the same as everyone else's. It's nothing special. We have new Mugang clutch and TPD baffled sump that is available from us now in exchange. So we only do an exchange program. We don't sell the sump. But yeah, so we're going to be doing a clutch, which is in desperate need of that, and yeah, just have a look over the engine. We want to see if all the abuse that this poor car's had has done any damage. I doubt it. Still drives fine, still makes power, but it's worth having a look now. It's easier to pull the engine and subframe and everything as one than it is to just try and pull the gearbox out. So yeah, hopefully we won't find anything, but we will go through it with you guys step by step to show you what it's like pulling a FK8 motor out. I'm trying to film and they're talking about Wild Woman. Look who it is. He's still on holiday.
Always on holiday.
What are you up to?
Cruising about.
Cruising about.
Getting ready for D1.
He's going to win it this year, he reckons.
That's the goal.
A sick GVI 86. This thing's real cool and real old school. Really cool. 9,700 RPM, rev limiter, old 4-age, dry sump. It's pretty sick. What are you doing, Elias?
Mounting the brain of the car, or trying to.
We
Trying
got
to mount it.
L-Tech.
Yeah, and trying to attach it to a bit of the roll cage under the dash. See if we can make it fit.
Got some sad news to tell the audience, even though that Elias has only ever been in like 2 videos.
Yeah.
Elias is going to go be a sex toy engineer.
I don't know about that. It's not what I would call it.
We're going to miss this little guy because there's no one else we can give shit to. So we're giving him a shit job to do on his last day. Don't worry, we'll get him some pizza. That will make him go and pick up. Right, what are we going to do now?
Just unbolt the heat exchanger. A couple other bits and pieces.
And throw it in the bin.
Yeah, get rid of that because we're going to upgrade him to a set trab or something like that. And then, yeah, pull the box off, inspect how ruined the clutch is. And then get it on engine stand and start tearing it down and having a good look at everything.
So, mine made just over 300 kilowatt on 23 pounds. We tried to turn the boost up and realised we're running out of fuel. We then modified it with a bigger in-tank fuel pump, which got us the fuel we needed, but then we started running out of clutch, and it's slowly been getting worse since then. So luckily we've got our new Mugen billet flywheel and clutch to go in. Apparently it's around 40% more clamp, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully it's not shitty to drive, but I will give you guys an honest review about that one anyway. But yeah, that crap, the gearbox heater is going in the bin. Don't need that anymore.
Gonna put a cooler on, not a heater.
Said oil cooler. These are the factory oil coolers that come on the K20Cs. They sit bolted up under the water pump housing, like so. They are a absolute behutch to remove in place. You either have to take off the AC system, which you can't do because it'll hit the radiator, or turbo and water pump housing, but with studs on it makes it quite hard to get off and up. All the oil cooler kits on the market, including ours, what they're designed to do on the K20C is effectively stabilize the oil temperature. Without removing this cooler or modifying this cooler, the oil will still climb up in temperature because it is straight in the oil path. It has to pass through that cooler. Now when your water temperature starts getting, when your oil temperature starts getting hot at a racetrack or anything like that, it has no choice but it has to go through that stupid little orifice through here. And what that'll end up doing is it will increase the water temperature. Because the oil will be hotter than the water, the heat has to go somewhere. So the poor little radiators on these Type Rs have to cool the turbo, the transmission, the engine, and the oil. And the more of these systems you can divorce from the cooling system, the better. So we're working on that at the moment on mine. Like I was just saying before, done the valve clearances, they're all good. Camshafts are in really good condition. The valve clearances are done, and I'm really loving how clean the inside of this engine is. It's fantastic, so I'm glad I'm not running the factory 0W20, because I would imagine with this amount of stress on it, it would be quite worn by now. Waiting on a rear main seal. Turbo is in perfect condition. This was the sort of like prototype version that's in perfect condition. And interestingly enough, so I don't run a catch can on my car. It's fine. There's a tiny bit of oil residue in there. Nothing that I would say is in excess of anything silly. I've now kind of proved that the catch cans don't really do anything on these engines. We pop open this. Need a light. Have you got a torch there I can borrow for a second? Huh? You got a torch I can borrow there for a second? Yeah. Ooh, stick light. Excellent. Come on, focus. Ports are fine. There's a little tiny bit of carbon buildup on there, nothing serious. Yeah, I was expecting it to be way worse than it is, but it's muy bien. Yeah, it's good. Timing's still perfect. So, just on the valve clearances now, so we're going to slowly start putting them back together. Yeah, not really much else to show. Nothing spicy. Oh, we're still going to swap the sump over as well. So, I think the only thing that we found was there is a gasket that's not very happy. This gasket here, as you can see, was just starting to leak, which is on the head face straight to the turbo. That's really it. Yeah, so next update we'll get the sump off, check out the bottom end, see what that looks like. It's quite a big unit. Very big unit, but gearbox, there's that cooler that we're throwing in the bin, but the clutch, it looks like it was also, the springs have let go and they're chattering. I'll see if I can find the springs are chattering inside the clutch housing. Doesn't look like it's been doing too many burnouts, but I think we just caught it in time. The clutch release bearing's definitely peeled, but we got no oil leaks. Everything looks nice and tidy except for the fasteners. I can't really see, like on the AC and the bracketry and stuff, it's all pretty peeled. This is attached to a turbo, so I would assume that was going to be cooked anyway, but other than that, everything looks good. Whoosh, turbo kit. But yeah. Hey, check it out. No bits. We found anything yet, Kelly?
Not yet. Everything's actually still intact. We were kind of expecting to see a little bit more wear and tear over the engine, but it's looking pretty good for now.
Yeah, I think so. It's not bad. So sump's off. Thought we'd show you guys the bottom end of a K20C before it gets all covered up again. Quite a cool engine. The crankshaft counterweighting we were just discussing is quite unique. Don't really see that a lot on other engines. So obviously we also have your integrated main, so it's technically, theoretically I should say, a 4-bolt main, but it's all spread out over the girdle, so nice and strong to deal with all that boost and that cylinder pressure. Windage tray, of course, empty sump, there's no baffling in that guy at all. Oil chain down the bottom, just like the K series of old. But the interesting thing, if I can pick it up on camera, is if you can see the oil squirter down there, see how it fires into a hole? Now that's something that I used to see, or reminiscent of an RB26. So that oil squirter doesn't just fire oil onto the bottom of the piston, it squirts oil into a channel which goes around the inside of the piston. There's actually a channel in there to cool the compression area of the piston. So it's quite trick, even though it's kind of old technology, just you don't see that on engines these days anymore. So it is quite a fancy wee engine, so if you didn't know, you know. Nothing really else. There's your oil pressure relief on your pump there, so there'll be no pulling that guy out, putting a shim in there to make more oil pressure. There's your crank position sensor with your wheel inside the engine. Anything else? No, not really. She's similar to the old K series, but not exactly the same. We have also now figured out how to modify the oil cooler. I'm not showing exactly how we did that, but the factory oil cooler is now modified, so now it is a true external oil cooler, not a half and half. And yeah, baffle sump's going on, and then we can slowly start reassembling the engine. We've done the valve adjustment, we've put the baffled sump in the car, we have cleaned the ports, they weren't bad at all, but we just thought we might as well while we're here. We've started heat sleeving all of the metal pipes that sit below the mini sun that lives on there. Like I said yesterday, we have modified the oil cooler and deleted the water passage out of it. Just a new dry belt because it was rather cooked. And yeah, just doing all the little heat sleeving on all the metal pipes that we can. We might as well do everything in our power to stop it from getting too hot. And what else have we done? We've started modifying this factory cooler here from Honda. It is actually a CRV part. That's going to be our new FK8 transmission cooler kit that we're in the process of sort of designing at the moment. But anything else that we noticed on the engine, Kelly?
Nothing too bad, really. I mean, yeah, like JP said, the valve clearances were a little bit out. There's a little bit of carbon build-up on the stems of the valves, which we cleaned off, but nothing too bad. Nothing like we used to seeing in the old 2-litre TFSI VAG engines. So Honda's breather system's pretty good. This car doesn't even run a catch can, and it's not even caking up the valves. So
high pressure
good,
pump
really.
and everything's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did a sneaky wee mod on the high pressure pipe, which goes from here and it goes down to the fuel rail. We had a look at a Honda one of these a little while ago, and it was quite interesting because the Honda one is actually smaller in size, like the actual pipe is smaller, but it has a larger injector outlet. So what we've done is we've just modified the factory one to suit the bigger injector size, and the bigger feed size in the end. But pretty simple modification to do, because we're going to be trying to shoot for a bit more boost now, so a bit more fuel is always helpful. And yeah, got a new rear main seal, might as well do that while it's in bits. It's coming together, boys, coming together.
The box that we've been waiting to open.
Whoosh. I'm freeballing this too, I don't even have any of my stick or anything.
Here we go. What's in the box?
Ooh. What's on the board, Miss Ford?
It's a pretty looking clutch cover.
Ooh. Look at that gem. That looks expensive. Even has Mugen on the disc. Whoosh. Kelly, are we fitting Mugen parts to an engine?
We are. We finally are at the point of fitting the nice shiny new object that's been sitting on my bench all week. So we'll get in there.
Hello.
Should hold a bit more mana.
I haven't bothered filming Kelly putting on like the coolant hoses because it's not very exciting. But we have gone ahead and heat wrapped all of the necessary components. We've already covered that we've modified the oil cooler, and a little sneak peek for when it goes back in the engine. We've done some arts and crafts on the rocker cover, so we'll wait till she's all back together. We've gone to go get the overpipe painted as well, but we are looking good, ladies and gentlemen. Right, we are at the final stages of putting the FK8 back together. We have had to push it on and off the hoist a couple of times because we've had other things to do. I've had some FL5 things I've been working on in the background as well. But Kelly has put the engine in. We're just finishing off some of the last little bits, like we have ditched the factory fans and moved to some Spar Motorsport fans, which Kelly is doing right now. And yeah, he's just been plumbing up the engine. So putting in the Spar fans onto our Koya radiator. Kelly's put all the engine in, and he has remembered where all the pipes and hoses go, I hope. Maybe not all the brackets, hey bro?
Yeah, there was one mystery bracket which we figured out.
But yeah, so we are also waiting for my FL5 overpipe that I run on my car to come back from powder coating. But yeah, we've in the previous shots and stuff, I've already showed you that we've heat wrapped everything. So
The gearbox cooler, which this guy right here, so he still needs a mounting solution. It's going to come mount him down here somewhere, and we're going to try and utilize this duct here, try and make some sort of ram air and shroud onto there.
yeah, it's quite nice too. The reason why I've chosen that is for two reasons. One, I had it left over from when I had a CRV, and two, it is a factory Honda part. The factory OEM heat exchangers are generally pretty good, so, and this car does see a lot of abuse. We want to keep the transmission as cold as possible, so these are very expensive gearboxes if you blow one, especially because we're going to go try and pull some more power out of it. I would rather make it live than not live. Yeah, getting there. TPD number 1 car almost done. Special cooling mods, special cover, everything's all going together, but the hello. Listen, it's running. Get to have a little wee stop work meeting. Kelly, it's running.
It is running, and it's not leaking from anywhere.
Not yet.
Fired up first try.
Yep.
Pretty good.
I didn't film it, but we obviously just cranked for oil pressure and made sure we didn't have anything coming out the bottom, and
Yeah, let it rip.
Let it rip, tater chip.
Yeah.
And look, no drippy. Engine is all back together. Pipe finally came back from the powder coaters, which is why this has taken so long. Gearbox cooler. No drippy. Doesn't look like there's any oil coolers up there, the factory one that we blanked off. No drippy from there. Nothing from the rad, nothing from the gearbox hoses, which is nice. Everything looks good. Hey Tony!
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm gonna change this setup now a little bit. Gonna make it into a bit of a Poseidon fork. Oh look, my neons are on. Oh look, mum, look.
Oh mum, look.
Neons. Next episode we make about this car, now it's all running and going, will be the dyno video. So that'll be me and Jeremy tuning the bastard. So we'll see you next time.